Okay, I am finished. I am finally a free man. I'm driving back from the OCB New Jersey Natural Open. I'm just driving actually back to my hotel room. I was going to go out and have a celebratory victory dinner, or whatever you want to call it, a completion dinner or whatever at Chick-fil-A, but it's only 7:30, and I figure I might as well go back to the hotel and get all this dream tan crap off of me and just kind of freshen up, and so I can kind of relax and enjoy the dinner and not worry about getting crap all over Chick-fil-A's upholstery. And incidentally, I have to get Chick-fil-A because there are no Chick-fil-A's in New York City yet. We're supposed to get one soon, but it's kind of a rarity as far as I'm concerned. So I think I have to take advantage of that. I took advantage of the Papa John's last night, even though I didn't really enjoy it too much. But anyway, all I can talk about is food, obviously. So how did I do? Well, I ended up placing first in the men's open class 2. There were 4 classes. I guess they gave trophies out to the top 5 in each class. And unlike last week, obviously I wasn't in the running for novice, so I didn't get anything in the novice. And this was interesting because there was not an overall for the men's open like there was last week. Like, there were different classes last week, and then there were winners within the class, and then there was an overall winner within, or for all 4 classes or what have you. So I think they were really trying to shorten this one this year. I went last year as a spectator, and it was just so long. I think I had to leave at like 7 or something like that so I could get the car back to New York City before the rental place closed. So, and from what I heard from people on Instagram and whatnot, I think it went until like 10 or 11 last year, I thought. So anyway, I think they were really trying to shorten it, and they just kind of kept rolling, after the prejudging. They just rolled right into, I guess, what would be the night show, which I think is smart. I think it's too much asking people to sit there. Like last year, it just felt like it went forever, and it felt like the ladies, and maybe it's just a different perspective because I was in it this year and I was sort of driving back and forth to the hotel to freshen up and stuff like that. But, this year felt much shorter. And anyway, so yeah, I got first in the men's open class 2. So I've got another piece of hardware to add to my collection. And then after that, it was just the overall for the show, for the INBF, I think, pro card. So I went out on stage for that with the other guys who won first in their open classes, with the other 4 guys. And I did not win that. It went to a bigger guy who he looked amazing. Obviously, he won first, and that was it. I think I was probably I think I was as symmetrical, and I think my definition was just as good as the other guy. I think he had a little more size on me, which can't really, you can't do anything about that other than put on more mass or whatever, or just be bigger. But interestingly, I think Romeo Estrada had the same experience last year. I think he won his class. I think he also won best posing routine, but I think he won his class but did not win the pro card. I think the pro card went to a bigger guy, from what he said on his Instagram post. So that's that. It was just like over before I knew it, and it was kind of weird. I don't feel like they were doing a very good job like announcing who was going on and stuff backstage. I feel like if you didn't really pay attention and like ask, you could just easily have missed your slot. And, you know, for me, I was traveling back and forth between my hotel, which was like 15 minutes away, and the venue to, you know, to freshen up. And I took a nap this afternoon after the prejudging or whatever, or between, you know, the pros and the prejudging. And then I went home after the prejudging, and I'm glad I went back to the hotel, and I'm glad I didn't stay too long because, you know, I got back and I had like maybe a half hour, 45 minutes to kind of sit there and get my stuff all in order and, you know, get prepared for the show. And then I was back on for my routine, which was cute. I mean, it's kind of a throwaway. I know I didn't really put a lot of effort. I put more effort into the little Ghostbusters prop that I used than I did the actual routine. But anyway, I wasn't going to do it. And I was like, you know what? I'm going to do it. What the heck? I think it makes people laugh, or the kids get a kick out of it or whatever. So I did it. You know, I did not slack off at all. I could have just as easily not done it. And I said, I'm doing this. I'm going to do it. So I did it. And, yeah, so it was basically over before it began. And, I was just walking to my car in the parking lot, and it's like the whole parking lot had basically cleared out. It's like people just leave, like after the women's bikini and stuff. I guess the people that are there that don't care just leave, you know. Which kind of brings me to a point, which is that people really don't come to these things who don't have someone in them. It's like going to like a beauty pageant or like one of those little kids princess pageants or whatever they call that. Like, it's kind of weird to go as a spectator if you don't have a horse in the game or whatever, you know. And I don't know. I don't know. I don't know what to say. It's like, it's so surreal right now. Like, I felt like my life was ending for the past 3 months at various intervals. I felt like I wasn't going to get through it. I felt like I was miserable. I didn't have any energy. I was walking around like a ghost. And now it's over. You know, it's kind of anticlimactic, actually, because I think last weekend was sort of my big moment, I guess. It was my first show, and I killed it, and I walked away with a pro card. And so this was just kind of like, Even if I'd won the pro card tonight, I think it would have been awesome. It would have been like a big rush and like, oh my God, I did it again. But I don't know. I don't think I would have been like, I don't know. The thing that kills me, everybody backstage, a lot of the guys, everybody is so nice. Everybody is so nice. And the one thing, this is such a stupid thing, but I'm going to say this. I had my bag, like, sort of in this specific place in the hallway. And I was kind of sitting there because there was sort of a nice draft. The place was pretty warm. There was a nice draft and everything. And I left my bag in that hallway and went back to the hotel because I knew it would be there when I came back, because I just feel like everybody there is so honest and just nice, and I think everybody knows it's a huge sacrifice to do this and to put yourself out there and to condition yourself for a show and all that. I feel like it doesn't really attract like a seedy crowd, you know. And having said that, I was sitting next to my bag. There was a cell phone. It was like a pink cell phone, an iPhone, and it was there the whole day. And this girl's stuff was there, and the cell phone was right in front of it. So this evening, I went back to get my stuff to leave, and the cell phone was there, and all the bags and stuff were gone. So I guess it didn't belong to that girl. I guess it belonged to someone else. Nobody took it. Like, that cell phone was literally sitting on the floor out in the open the entire day, and nobody touched it. So I picked it up and I turned it into one of the I think one of the OCB producers or whatever. And you know, that's just a perfect example, though. It's like people aren't there. Last year when I went, you know, it seemed kind of intimidating. I just felt like a lot of the people in the crowd were kind of thuggish and low class and, you know, all that, which is horrible for me to say, but that was kind of the impression I got. And it's not that way at all. Like, everybody is so nice and honest and supportive. And I think that, I'm getting kind of choked up. I think that is like the reason that a lot of people do this. You know, I think I just think it's like a life goal for people like me. It was just something I always wanted to do. Excuse me, I'm sorry. And I didn't think I would finish it, but I did. And I think it's just so cool when you can walk away from something and, just say that there's something higher than winning and trophies and pro cards and stuff. That it's about more than that. It's about connecting with people and achieving something that other people are interested in and making that connection, So I'm kind of proud that I did what I did. And I'm kind of proud of everybody else that did the same thing, Because it's not easy. It is certainly not easy. And I don't know. I just think it's kind of cool. I think it's really cool that you can walk away and know that there was something sort of bigger than winning. I think that's the takeaway from this whole thing. Sorry, I'm crying on camera. I'm definitely going to put this on YouTube. Somebody will probably do one of those stupid things where they put it to music or whatever. But anyway, but having said that, I got choked up and everything. But the thing that the camaraderie is addictive. It's unfortunate because everybody, it's so rushed and it's so intense and everybody's pumping up and there's just not a lot of time. Okay, sorry, my video card on my camera was full. So I guess I'm gonna have to figure out if I can splice from my iPhone. But I just have to record this right now because it's the night of, it's the moment, and I'm not gonna wait. But I was just saying, it's just unfortunate that you can't have more time to sort of interact with people and connect with people. But the one thing that the people and the atmosphere is addictive. I will say that. But everybody that I spoke with just kept saying oh man, this is great. This is my umpteenth year doing this and blah, blah, blah. And I would say this is my second show and I think it's my last. And, a look of shock would come over people's faces and say, man, you can't, this can't be your last show. You got to keep with it. It'll get easier. The second year was easier and the third year was a little easier. And, and I just don't feel like it's addictive. Everybody keeps saying oh my God, it's being on stage and that rush and everything is so addictive. I don't feel that way. And, not that that's a bad thing or a good thing, whatever. It's not something that I feel. And maybe that's just because I have a theater background. I did theater for quite a few years and I know what they're talking about. There was always a rush, when I was in school and when I was performing and when I was doing summer stock with my wife, and I eventually just got burned out on it. She and I both got totally burned out on performing. And I think maybe that's what it is. I think you just get, you get tired of it. And, so I think for people who probably have never been on stage performing in theater, I think this is probably that equivalent. I think that's probably why they say it's so addictive. But I did hear a couple of people say, I think that, some older guys saying, I think this is it for me. I hate explaining to my wife and kids why daddy's in a bad mood or why daddy can't eat dinner with everyone else or why daddy can't go out and blah, blah, blah. And I guess that's it. It is such a sacrifice, I think that's what people don't get, it's a sacrifice. And for me, I think the biggest turnoff, if there was a turnoff, certainly a turnoff, aside from just feeling so down and awful, because I was so depleted and hungry, I just really don't like what this made food for me. I've never binged in my life until now. I was binging a couple times, and man, I just didn't like the guilty feeling that came with that, and the fact that I had to hide that, and the fact that I had to sort of stop and try to make myself feel like it was okay and that I wasn't developing an eating disorder and all that kind of stuff. Like that is the hard part about this. Like even just talking about it now just kind of makes me feel sick to my stomach and gives me the shivers a little bit. It kind of scares me, to be honest, because I lost so much weight for this to try to get lean and cut, and I did, and like you can see the veins in my legs and all that stuff, and the cuts in my glutes, and I wanted to see if I could get to that point because I've never done that with my body, and I did it. You know, looking back, like I can't believe that I did it. It is just so surreal. It's so surreal. Maybe when I start putting some weight back on, it'll sink in. You know, but I like looking at myself now, I just look so emaciated and I just don't even recognize myself. It's like, it's just a weird feeling. But anyway, I really sincerely think this is it for me. I don't think I'm going to compete as a pro. I don't think I'm going to compete as an amateur again. You know, I really don't. I don't feel that addiction. You know, and I think that's okay. I'm glad that I did this video documentary of it. I don't think anybody will ever watch it. Maybe I'll watch it again in a couple of years for shits and giggles or whatever. But I don't think I'm ever going to do this again. I don't think it's for me. I will always work out. I will always train. I love lifting. I love getting that pump. I love bodybuilding. I love to bodybuild. I don't like to compete. I don't like to smear stuff all over my skin and get up on stage and flex and pose and wait for the judges and stuff. You know, I'm going to toot my own horn a little bit. I'm going to sound a little conceited, and I want to say this for posterity, I guess. The one thing, it's always a nice little... It's great to get a pump when you're working out, and it's great to... Part of that pump is like the pump to your ego, and people are like, man, you're ripped, you're cut, and everything. But the one takeaway from this that I can honestly say that I kind of pumped my ego a little bit, when I won the show last week, you know, one of the judges came up while my wife was standing there with me with all the trophies and stuff, and she wanted to give me some feedback, and, you know, the feedback was that I need to be darker and that I needed a different posing suit. And, you know, she just looked at my wife and she said, he's perfect. Those are the only two things he needs to change. Everything else is perfect. He's perfect. And I know my wife doesn't need to hear that, because I know my wife thinks I'm perfect, both like inside and out, for who I am. I know that. And I don't need like somebody to tell me that my body is perfect or whatever, but it's nice. Like, it's a nice feeling when you hear that from a stranger. It's like, that's cool. Like, cause you work really hard to get to this point. It's just kind of cool to hear somebody appreciate that, you know, as silly as that is. Like I said, that's the one time I'm going to toot my own horn, going to pump my ego and just say that. But it's cool. It's cool for somebody like a judge who sees like hundreds of people who condition their bodies to compete in these things. It's so cool to hear a judge say that, just to say he's perfect, you know. But to get to this point of perfection, if that's what you want to call it, like, the sacrifice is just, I don't know that it's worth it. Like, you have to do things to your body, you have to deplete your body, and like, I have to go tanning, you know, and I know that's not good for my skin. I know that, you know, you get skin cancer and stuff from tanning. So I'm not going to do that anymore, and I am not going to shave my body anymore, even though I know that's not a big deal as far as your health goes. But anyway, I just wanted to say that, and I guess that's it. You know, I'm going to go up and shower, and like I said, I'm going to go to Chick-fil-A and probably eat way too much. I say I'm never going to do what I did last weekend, but, you know, I'm going to get Chick-fil-A, and I'm really thirsty. I might go get a Slurpee. I don't think I'm going to do what I did last. I might get like an ice cream or something at Chick-fil-A or whatever, but I don't think I'm going to go out and do like the 7-Eleven binge thing where I had all this like nasty shit, like this processed like cakes and stuff. I don't really feel like I need that. I mean, I had like a Twinkie between, you know, the parts of the show today or whatever, because I figured that's what I did last weekend, so I should try to do that, because maybe that led to victory or whatever. But I don't really feel the need to like go, you know, to 7-Eleven and like buy all their Hostess cakes and moon pies and all that garbage. So I just kind of want to get some like Chick-fil-A. I know that's not healthy food, but I just want to get some like just some actual food in me, not garbage. And yeah, and you know, tomorrow I am gonna wake up probably pretty early. I'd like to go to Cracker Barrel. That's another one we don't have in New York City. I'd like to get some Cracker Barrel breakfast. And then I'm going to drive back to New York City, park the car, and there's actually a street fair that my wife and friends always go to called the 9th Avenue Food Festival. So we're going to go to that, and you know, I'll probably go a little crazy there, but we always do. So that's it. And then I'm back to work on Monday, you know, and probably back to working out. I think my friend Chris said he wanted to work out on, I guess, tomorrow maybe, so who knows, maybe, you know, we'll work out tomorrow afternoon or something. But anyway, that's it. I'll probably do a little video from Cracker Barrel tomorrow morning, and maybe just a little recap or whatever later in the week when things get back to normal. But you know, as I sit here in the parking lot of my hotel, like, I just don't know what to say. It's just been surreal. I'd like to thank Jeff Nippard for just kind of guiding me through this whole thing. You know, he was awesome. I couldn't have had a better coach. And I feel bad saying I'm not going to compete anymore, you know, after that. You know, I feel bad saying that if Jeff ever watches this. But, you know, I know he understands the sacrifice, and he's younger than I am. And you know, my wife Meredith and I just have a lot of changes and stuff coming up. And a lot of life changes actually coming up. And, you know, this was just one of those things I wanted to do in my life, and I did it. And was it a sort of an early midlife crisis? Maybe. I don't know. But I've got some cool little trophies to remind me of what I did, which is kind of cool. They're just plaster casted, spray painted, you know, statues. But I think it's sort of what they stand for. That's pretty cool. So, you know, I'd like to thank my wife for being there and just being cool and being supportive and tolerating all the mood swings and the dieting and the cooking and me being late for work, because she and I work together, and just all that stuff. I want to thank her from the bottom of my heart. From the bottom of my heart, I just want to thank you, Meredith. I don't know why I wanted to do this, but I needed to do it for me. And I did it. And I just can't wait for things to go back to normal so I can come back to you and be the person that you love. And I know they don't understand, but I want to thank my dogs, because they don't understand why I'm in a bad mood. They don't understand why I lose my temper and I drag them around the block for like 5 minutes when they've been inside all day. They don't get that. And I know they're not going to be around that long, you know, and, you know, I just want to, like, thank everybody in my life, you know, like my friend Chris and Brett and Andy. Like, I know, like, I was short with you guys on, like, numerous occasions, and, I apologize for that deeply. Like I said, I guess it just sort of goes with the territory. Like, this was like running a marathon for me, and I just wanted to do it. And I just appreciate all that support. So I just want to say that, you know, and you know, I'd like to thank, like, my family. Like, they didn't really have a lot to do with this, but, you know, it's just always good to know that family's there and that they're supportive. And, you know, like, a couple of years, gosh, 20-something years ago, like, my older brother was killed. And I don't know, like, in a weird way, like, deep down, I think maybe this, in a weird way, maybe this was sort of for him. I don't know. He was always kind of the athletic one in the family. My sister was too. I was just never very athletic. I was never good at, like, team sports and stuff. So for me to, like, sort of do something like this was kind of a big deal. And, you know, I don't know. I asked my big brother for help. You know, I prayed to him for help and guidance and stuff. And I'd like to think, I know he's looking down on me, and I think he's proud of me. And, you know, he was a big guy, and he was into weightlifting and stuff. He was only 16 when he was killed, but I remember him, like, weightlifting and stuff. And
I kind of felt like when I started lifting at my high school, I felt like I was sort of stepping into his shoes. You know, in a weird way. Like, he was on the football team and stuff, but they trained in the gym. And, like, when I got in that gym, like, I kind of felt like he was there, you know? And, I just miss you, George. And, I always will, but I'd like to think that, like, these trophies and stuff and, like, this victory that I did, like, getting through this and stuff was for you. It was for you. And I know that you're up there and that you're looking down on me and that you were there for me. And I love you. So anyway, I guess that's it. I'm gonna go and take a much needed shower. If you can kind of see how gross I am. And I guess this is me signing off. Thanks for watching, and thanks for the support.